the U.S. has officially inked a nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia. We told you this was coming at about this time yesterday. It would also allow the Saudis to enrich uranium, which paves the way for them to access a nuclear weapon. This morning, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said there will be safeguards in place to ensure that doesn't happen. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle warned, though, that this agreement comes at a precarious time as the war with Iran intensifies. Well, Matthew Bunn is the co-principal investigator for the Project on Managing the Atom at Harvard University's Belfer Center, and he joins us now to discuss this in depth. Matthew, good morning. What do you make of this deal with Saudi Arabia, and why would the U.S. agree to do this now specifically, do you think?
Well, the United States wanted to improve relations with Saudi Arabia. They had a bit of a blow-up with the oil-rich kingdom this spring over the war with Iran, which Saudi Arabia opposed. This deal has been in the works for years, including in the Biden administration, although then it had other elements that aren't included in the final deal that was signed. Unfortunately, the Trump team dropped a key non-proliferation requirement of Saudi Arabia agreeing to the broader international inspections that are included in what's called the additional protocol of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Instead, this deal will have bilateral U.S. Saudi inspections, but only on the particular things the United States provides, not on the overall Saudi program. So that is one weakness. The other is that it envisions, at least eventually, providing enrichment technology, which is the key technology you can use to make nuclear bomb material.
And what do you make of the timing? I mean, nuclear non-proliferation, this is preventing the know-how and the technology from spreading around, is a key aspect of world peace. Israel is believed to have its own nuclear program, although it's not acknowledged it. Could this set off an arms race in the Middle East at a time when the U.S. is trying to prevent one nation from having a nuclear weapon?
Well, of course, we're already at war with Iran, partly over its uranium enrichment efforts, and that might lead to a nuclear weapon. And Israel, as you mentioned, already has nuclear weapons. Adding Saudi Arabia to the enrichment profile is a risk, but the way the deal is reportedly set up, they haven't released it yet, so we haven't seen the details, is that there'd be a 2-year study of whether it makes sense to move forward with the enrichment. And then if it does, it would be provided by and operated by U.S. companies without directly transferring the technology to the Saudis.
So as you step back and just look at this overall, is it an announcement that you welcomed, or might this cause more problems and issues than it solves?
Well, I think this creates new risks that are a real problem, and that Congress needs to take a close look in its review required by the Atomic Energy Act. And I would favor Congress doing everything it can, there are limits to its power, to block the transfer of the enrichment capability to Saudi Arabia. The world doesn't really need more enrichment sites at the moment. You could easily meet demand by expanding existing sites. And so there's no real need for the uranium enrichment in Saudi Arabia.
All right, Matthew Bunn, thank you so much for being with us on this Thursday. We appreciate your expertise.
Thank you.